Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're well. Welcome back. Welcome to season 59, Alliance War. And you know, I don't care for making Alliance War videos, but I mentioned this in a call the other day, and my goodness, did the people get into an uproar about how selfish my perspective was. And you know, I couldn't do that. And so I figured we'd strike a compromise. I'll put together some highlights of each quarter of the season. We're going to start obviously with the first quarter here. This first war, we're up against the Matrix, using the Thanos versus Arcade. These are really yap fights, these first two. I love Deathless Thanos and just wanted you to see the power. I figured it'd let me warm up and we keep talking. So my plan is to do some highlight videos. That way you can at least see what's going on. I do have some plans for some Alliance War content, but much more rooted around my process for preparation and some tools to be the best war player you can be. Kind of where my head's at. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Leave that in the comments. In the meantime, you're just gonna see some sweet Alliance War fights and some of the sketchiest things you'll ever see in this mobile video game. So let's get into that. As you see, Deathless Thanos, smooth sailing through that arcade, the first part of Path 1, 45 seconds. Not too bad. We're going to skip over that gore because it's basically a Sim Supreme fight, and we're going to show one of those later. So left Thanos in for this Bastion over on 9. Again, just to show you the power that is fully boosted, for the most part. Big Daddy Thanos. No power backs on for him here. Knew I didn't need him. I don't have the big attack or health boosts. I have the mediums, but I do have the 30% champion boost on, so... We hit our 2 special ones to hit that Fury ramp, and now we're just pausing. We don't intend to bait any specials, though he throws it into hard block. Doesn't even matter. Pause the combo, finish the combo. Bastion is done. 30 seconds. Let's go. Now we've got this Lumatrix here at the end of Path 9, and this fight is in here because it's the opening low light of the season. I took these fights earlier than I typically do in my process, speaking of that preparation process. And we've got this Lumatrix here on Incinerate Bleed, so you look at Prowler, it's kind of a natural counter for this fight. Except there's one big flaw in that theory. One big flaw that I've not yet realized. Any of the handful of people that I had conversations with about this fight didn't realize. Something that we all overlooked. And nobody mentioned. I'll let you know when it kicks in. See, I should have seen it there or there. You see that little immune pop up. Immune. Huh. That's interesting. Didn't think about it. So I'm just fighting. Got my incinerate up. Sorry. Trying to keep that up to maximize my damage for the special 2 I'm gonna throw here pretty soon. Lose my invul. That might come back to bite me. Here he's just not letting me get an intercept, not letting me get an opening. I go for it. Throw off the special 2 without the incinerate, and all I see are immune. And at this moment in time, it's about now, I think, when I throw that relic, that I realize what a problem this is going to be. Because now I realize that Lumatrix is indeed rupture immune. That may or may not be Prowler's primary form of damage. So here we are. We're a minute and some change into the fight. We're in a little bit of a scramble. Okay, I'm trying to work through it now. I'm a little confused still. Confused. Go ahead, try to do the same thing again. Right, definition of insanity. But more like I need to sanity check myself here real quick. Make sure that this is true. And yeah, so I get everything lined up proper, and I just see immune. Okay. Well, now I'm going back through. I'm looking at the clock. I can remember distinctly, and that's where I got clipped there, looking at the clock. And I'm going, okay, I got him, you know, almost halfway down, and I've got more than half the time. So we switched the theory here, and we go into special 1 spam. And this will allow me to counter Luma's evade regularly, allow me to be more aggressive than I would be otherwise. And Yeah, that's the route we're gonna try to go. I don't know. I did not mean to get to that special 2. That was supposed to be a special 1. It's not the biggest deal because I still have a lot of pursuit up, but annoying nonetheless. Silly. So now I'm going, okay, I need to get more Furies too. I need to be able to hit, but we're halfway through. If I can just finish this out at a decent pace, be clean. No. No. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fight 4, War 1. The Deathless season ends. The good news is we had no expectations of a Deathless season this season. I think we'll save those for later when we can stick to our process. We'll make the video and actually follow it. And I sped this up just so my officers could see. I wasn't going to include it, but I just wanted you guys to see this is actually a doable fight. This is actually a doable fight. You can heavy charge, right? You can just get counter, play freely. I was mostly frustrated coming out of it with myself. I mean, pretty frustrated in general, but mostly frustrated with myself because I saw a path. I just saw a path too late. I couldn't execute and I died, and I shouldn't have died. Because again, you see here, he was at like 40%-ish. And I did that in a little over a minute. So like 2.5 minute fight, maybe, if I'm on my game. But GG's Luma, you took my season. And now here I'll show you the first Sim Supreme Serpent of the season. Like I said, I took the gore over on path 1 with him, but it is basically the same process. And there's going to be a couple Serpents coming up, and I'm going to show you none of those fights because they're effectively the same thing. This is the worst of the Sim vs Serpent fights I've had this season. We start off, the goal basically is just to push him back, which is not going well. And get to my special 3. I want to launch my special 3 with 100 of the things. I can't remember what they're charged right now, some sort of cunning majig. And I don't get there, but I'm cornered and he's at special 2, which will be unblockable. So I throw it because I want to get out and power steal. I want to do the thing. And he's going to go ahead and throw that. Thankfully, Sim Supreme, one of the earliest champs with the special 3 damage mitigation in the kit. We take not a ton of damage. And still in the corner where I want to get out of. Finally gonna start doing some bleed damage. You know, we're just not in a good spot. I need to get to another special. I need to get out of this corner. Go ahead and throw that, get the inexorable off of him, get some power back. Now we're in a decent spot. I don't like using my relic there, but you do what you gotta do. And we go ahead and save for this special 3, which now we have at 100 of the charges. So I'm hoping I'm gonna get back to another bar of power. I am, of course, running max MD, big power backs, all the things. Throw that into block because, you know, I choked. I didn't wait for him to dash. I expected a dash. I was prepared for a dash. He didn't dash. I was not prepared for that. A bummer, but it's okay. We're still in control of this fight. Just need to make sure we are smart and smooth. Don't do something dumb. Keep cycling special 3, special 2. He's got this special 2. Decide to back off. Just deal with it. Dex is that, but thankfully dashes in. Thankfully gives me a hit on that. Finally lets me do something. And unfortunately, I just can't get my rhythm. I'm just trying to get to that special 2. I get a couple of those for a special 3. It's not working. I see everything go. Throw those so I can refresh my Fantastics. Make it happen. And we're quickly coming to an end here because all of the Sim Supreme kinks that have been going on for a while, I haven't played my man in a while. We're going to work those out here in the rest of this fight. Try to close this thing smooth. Do the dash back, hit him with that, get my power back, get going. I go ahead and toss that because I see where he's at health-wise. Thankfully, he doesn't block the relic, but honestly, it doesn't really matter because we're going to throw that off and we're good to go. Serpent, toast. And we were not. A solid win versus Matrix. Good start to the season. Big shout out to the MVPs, Grass, Intercept, and Minnow. Sad death, but we got a dub. Now on to our second war of the season. Today, ladies and gentlemen, you see it right there. We're taking on the big sweats over at Chaos. Big shout out to those fellows. Of course, that's, Pepe, Captain Judah, Hake. I'm sure there are more people I'm forgetting, but much love for those guys. But, all's fair in love and alliance war. This fight's in here today to remind you why we don't play Cassie in Alliance War. Because on paper, this matchup is fantastic. Right, on paper, I just need a semi-cooperative AI. I'm poison and shock immune. I'm just trying to spam specials. He's keeping a good chunk of his power. He should be throwing special ones fairly often. I just need him to, play a little bit of ball. It's not an awful start. He did try to wait me out there on that first heavy, and then triple resisted me, so GG's to him. Obviously a better player than I am, but of course he is. He's the AI. Can I try to clam up on this one? No, not this one. That must come later. Here we go. Yeah, we're getting some nice flow going. And I remember in the fight hitting this point and being like, all right, now we're all right. Now just throw this special, let's keep it flowing. Now just throw this special, let's keep it flowing. Yeah. And still not, by the way. And still not. He'll throw this bad boy when you're across the screen, but he won't throw it right there. So all right, we're on the reset. I finally get one hit out of him. This was, again, a reminder why we don't use Cassie in Alliance War. I did actually use her on the next fight. I did not include that as a destroyer on the back half of Path 9, Power Focus 2, and it went much worse than this, but all for the similar reasons. I very nearly died in that fight. It's all right. It's all right. We're just going to keep going low and slow. We just want to solo. We're not too worried about speed. It's all about staying alive. Finally get some good charges there. Now we just need him to play ball. There we go. Finally get a nice little chunk off. I'm back to feeling good. Let's go. Now just keep those specials coming. Let's go. Here I'm trying to buy some time on that indestructible so it actually is meaningful. And now we're getting some flow. Gotta love this Sentinel here. Just keep spamming my man. And he's down. So, could have been bad. Wasn't too bad. AI, not so fun in Alliance War. Like I said, we're skipping the Destroyer because we're going to get into the second most sketchy Alliance War fight I can ever remember. We've got this Yelena boss, rank 4, Sig 200, of course. It's Chaos. And I've gened this in the off season. I've got a pretty good handle on what I need to do, but I make a couple of mistakes. And I just get caught in some bad timing. And you're going to see how this goes. Is this death 2 of the season? Oh Lord, I hope not. We'll see. So we want to bait this special 2. We do all right. Get clipped at the end. And that's a bummer because as you can see, that combo shoots up. She gets 50 hits if she knocks you down with special 2. I did not think about this in the moment. So here I am. I'm just kind of going my way. I want to heavy bait this. Right, I want to counter. And now I'm walking up. I didn't even realize she's at 100 hits. So now I'm going in. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. No. We're in elimination mode now. Ah, crap. I back off. Throw the special 1 to kind of reset some stuff. Get her pushed back. And now I'm just trying to hit the block. Bait special 1s, hit the block. You got to watch out for the mediums. If the AI drops their block. So I want to make sure she's hard blocking before I go in. But was not anticipating this. So it's a good loss of health. I've taken more health than I wanted to. I've taken more time than I wanted to. But it's okay. We just need to reset after this. And we'll call it good. We've got her out of elimination. We're back into observation. So I'm like, all right, time to reset. Time to get myself some neuros built up and get back in the flow of this fight. Just trying to bait this SP1. We're doing all right. Again, I just want to get as many neuros up as possible before I throw the special 1 off. It's not too bad, but far from where I want to be. That's for sure. state and specials. Now we get to use our relic. We're just trying to work toward a big special too. All right, that's how this gene rotation works. Get neuros up, throw big special twos. So we get that. Unfortunately, I get hit again. Again, don't compute that this means elimination mode's coming. But there, I at least get my special off, get a chunk of damage. We're back in elimination mode. So I got to get her out of elimination mode. In fact, she's not even there yet, but she's about to be. So it's about as long as I can go in this fight. And we're halfway home now. The fight is halfway done. She is not halfway down. I'm taking note of that, but more importantly, I got to get her out of elimination mode. That's the focus right now. Got to get back to building my neuros up, getting my damage cycle going. Just need her to cooperate. You see we're at over 30 seconds now of hit and block. Still in elimination mode. So we're within 2 minutes of this fight now, and she's still over 50%. Throws me a nice little heavy, or I appreciate that. Now I'm really clock watching and going, okay, I've been passive as I can be. I need to get moving. A timeout is a death. Hit the special 2 decks there. So I might as well go hard. There's no point in timing out in this fight. She goes ahead. She's being a little cooperative. She's still over 50%. So, you know, seems an awful lot like timeouts incoming. But we get a big special off. Come into another special 2 deck. Hit that one too. That's where we need to be. Now we're getting back to it. Of course, the dash and parry. Thankfully, she was a little slow. And the shield ate most of that. Trying to wrap myself back up. We got 45 seconds. She's got a quarter left. I basically need to pull off another rotation. We should be all right. As long as I can make it happen. But there's going to be at least one more mistake. I tossed that, and I don't realize we're at 100 hits. Now I'm trying to get to one more special. And if I was smart, I would have thrown it there. Now I'm hitting. Don't realize we hit the clock. I was trying to do as big as possible. We launch it off. We're trying to spam that striker. And at 2% health, and under 10 seconds left, we pull it out. Now at that point, the war was tied, but now we had finished our fights, so Chaos gave up a few more on the way. Big GGs to those guys. Shout out to our MVPs, Poke, Cosmic, and Hurdle. Well fought, ladies and gentlemen. That was a tough one, but we made it. Now coming to the last war of the first quarter, taking on 4 Loki, and you're only going to get one fight from here because it was more Sim vs Serpent and 3 Warlock fights that all basically looked the same, so I went with the one my officers preferred. We're going to show how our bad boy Warlock here, somewhat forgotten sometimes in war, can go ahead and just do nuke things. So we wait out that first shock phase. I do have Odin's on, so it's not the biggest deal, but I was just kind of building some power, building my way up. Perfectly lined that up. That puts him right into his Berserker mode. And now I'm just kind of trying to be aggressive. I know that I've got my Odin up, so I just kind of want to push him back, keep his regen going backwards. I wanted to get to that indestructible. And then I see like, I can wait these charges out. So we do. And then we get right back to it. Now it's smooth sailing. I just need to not do something incredibly dumb. Should have just comboed in there, but it doesn't really matter because we're gonna parry and he's gonna die. But unfortunately, we may have gotten 4 Loki in the big thing season, but they crushed us this time. GG's to those fellows, MP, Usafa, Trevor. Oh my goodness, there's a long list over there. Shout out to our MVPs, Grass, Anthem, Intercept. Well fought, gentlemen. Well fought for Loki. First loss of the season. We're 2-1. War 4 is going on now. Until next time, peace.